Hey you guys, welcome back to another video. If you don't know, my name is Capri and this is my third installment in my how-to series. If you would like to check out the first two videos, make sure to click the link in the description, or I will put it in the cards up here for you guys. But today's video, I will be showing you how to create a flawless foundation base. If you are interested in this video, make sure to keep on watching. In order to create this flawless face that you've seen already, because I know it look good, y'all. I know it look good. So in order to create a flawless base for your makeup look, you want to get products that work well together. So if you're going to do a matte look, you should do products that have more matte properties in them so that they all work well together. Now that doesn't mean that you can't mix some glowy products up in there, but it just means you won't get that super matte look if that's what you're going for an example. Okay, so I already did my brows in my skin prep off camera. So for me to start off, so I'm going to use the One Size Secure the Blur Primer. I've been using this a lot. This is my holy grail right now, so I absolutely love it. And I'm just gonna put it in my T-zone right here because I want to still have like a skin-like finish, but I don't want it to be too shiny, if that makes sense. So now that I have the primer on, I'm going to take it one step further, and I'm going to use the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury. This is the mini version, and I am just going to put this on a palette. I'm going to take my foundation brush, and I'm just going to put this at the high points of my face. Now this might be a tad bit too dark for me, but that is okay because the foundation will balance it out. Just like that. Even though I put like a mattifying primer on there, I still want it to look like I'm glowing right here, just not up here, if that makes sense. Okay, so now we're going to do foundation. So the key to having a flawless face is the foundation that you use and how well it works with your primer. So because I used the One Size primer, that kind of works well with any foundation that I have been using, whether it's glowy or semi-matte. It works amazing. That's the reason why I chose it. So for today's foundations, I am going to use the Danessa Myricks foundation in the Yummy Skin in the shade 16N, and then I'm going to mix it with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk foundation in the shade 8.75. So I'm going to mix those two, and I'm also going to use this brush which you seen me use earlier, which is the Delium brush, the gold triangle. It is the BD HD Phase 2 brush. I like this brush because it is medium dense, whereas depending on what side you use it on, you can get either a full coverage or you can get like medium to light coverage with the brush. And then I'm just going to pack it on like this, as you can see first. So when you pack on the foundation, this is what gives you the most full coverage. If you swipe it, you don't get that much coverage, but it kind of looks the same because the Yummy Skin is very full coverage in my opinion. So you can pretty much swipe it or pat it. So I really like this. I mix these two because the 16N is a little too dark, as whereas the Armani is my exact shade. So it kind of balances out, but still give me that delicious looking skin, you know. So we're just going to apply this all over. And as you guys can see, I did not have to use that much. So if it was a heavier foundation, I would definitely go over it with a beauty blender. But I really like how it's just sitting on my skin and I don't feel like I need to blend it out anymore or take away any product with the sponge. Now you can start off with the sponge and that will give you a lighter application that you would have to build on. But you have to make sure that that sponge is damp. So now that we got that in, I am going to go in with contour. It depends on what you want your contour to be. Do you want it to be actual contour or do you want it to be actual bronzer? Bronzer warms up the skin, something that you would do in the summertime to give you that bronzy glowy look, as well as contour is a cool shade, so it kind of creates shadow in the places that you want your face to look snatched. That's the word we're gonna go with. So I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario contour stick in the shade Dark. I like these because they have a cool undertone, so it actually gives you that contouring effect. So these are the places that I want to be contoured. And I'm actually just going to take the same brush because this is what makes your life easier. It already has the foundation on it, so when I go to blend out this contour, it's going to blend seamlessly. So we're just going to blend this out. See, no lines of demarcation or any of that because I'm using a brush that already has the foundation on it. But it gives me that snatched look, as you can see. Yes, we looking good already. Okay. I want to make this video super easy for you guys to follow along because makeup does not have to be that hard. It really doesn't. So we're just gonna pop that on there. And then I'm also gonna take the same brush and blend out my nose, just so it looks a little bit more natural. You wanna make sure to blend that contour into the brows. Just like that. And there, we look snatched already. For concealer, I like to start off with a shade that is closest to my skin tone, just to make sure everything is blending really good, and then I add in the brightness. So I am going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Radiant Skin Concealer. This is what it looked like in the shade 11.75. And I'm just gonna pop this right here and right here. Now you can highlight in the places where you want your face to pop and stand out more. Just try not to use too much because once you use too much product, it becomes overwhelming to blend it out. So I'm just actually gonna go in with that same brush that I use like my foundation brush, which is the Delium Phase 3 brush, and it's the number 788. And I'm just going to blend this in patting motions. So we're just gonna blend this out. And you can see I have not brought it up to here yet. We don't wanna create creases. Some of us already have creases under there, such as myself. So I don't wanna put too much product under my eye where it creases automatically. So I'm just going to leave the product right here since we're gonna be adding another layer of concealer. Just going to pop that right here, just like that. And you can see it's blended out. It looks really good. Now, when it comes to blending out concealer on your forehead, you don't want to bring the highlight up too high because then it makes your forehead look even big. If that, like the shine is going to be up here, you don't want it to be. You want to keep it like right here. So the object is to create a oval within doing your concealer because you're highlighting. So you want the part of the oval to shine and everything else to be brought back. And as you can see, minimal product goes a long way. You do not have to use a lot of product to achieve a full coverage look, even a seamless look at that. So just blend this out. I am going to go in with a lighter concealer in the shade number 9. It's a little bit yellow, which I am okay with. And I'm just going to pop that in the same spot right here. I'm going to let that sit because I want to go in with the Rare Beauty blush in the shade Joy. This is what it looked like. Now, I do not like applying this directly onto the skin because that's how we get a little crazy. So I'm going to just pop this on my palette. And I'm going to take this brush. Don't judge my brush, okay? This is the IT Cosmetic Complexion Perfection brush in the number 7. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the brush and I'm going to smile and we're just going to pop that on. And just blend that out. Now it's okay if you go a little crazy because we can go back in with that first brush and just blend it out. Okay. It's okay that we brought it up here too, because we're just gonna blend this concealer over it just to give us that pop, you know, give us that clean girl aesthetic. So I'm just gonna take that brush and go over it like this. And then this is the time where you bring it up under your eye. Just like that. Now, I will say to bring the concealer up to the side of your nose to give you that more slender look to even out the contour that we placed there. So now I'm gonna go back in with that foundation brush and just clean up everything. Just make sure everything is seamless, is blending in. She look cute, okay. I brought you guys in just a tad bit closer. Okay, I went back to my one size powder. I absolutely love it. I stopped using it and I'm like, why did I stop using this? So we are going to go in with the one size powder. This is in the shade Translucent. And I'm also going to use a powder puff. As you can see, I've been using this already. So I'm just going to press whatever is in there, too much of it. So I put a little bit of concealer on the sponge. I'm going to tap out any of the concealer that might have settled in my creases before I set. So we're just going to look up. Just like that. And then I'm going to press the powder in. So I'm going to keep the powder pretty tight. As you can see, I only literally put it up under my eye. And I'm going to put a little bit of it on the side of my nose right here. So we're going to keep it tight because I want to keep all of this glow. And as you can see, I really didn't bake because we don't need to. The products are good for what they are. I want my skin to look good. She gotta look good, okay? So I'm just going to make sure I tap in that powder so it is not sitting and drying out my skin. And I put it on the bridge of my nose. I'm also going to put it on my chin as well. If you want that super snatch look, we are going to take the bottom of that powder puff. I'm going to take a little bit of powder and just carve out my cheeks. Just like that. So I don't want to bring it too much to my mouth because I don't want to create a line. And then make sure you blend it out. I mean, this look good, okay? I'm gonna have to find somewhere to go. Okay, now for bronzer, I am doing the one size dark trio. This is what it looked like. I'm going to use this shade right here because it's not too dark, and I'm gonna mix it in with a little bit of this one because this shade is more cool compared to these two. These are a little bit warm. So I want to still have a little bit of depth on the side. And I'm just going to take this fluffy brush from Smith Cosmetics and I'm going to smile because I want to make sure I'm putting it under my cheek. And I'm keeping it kind of close. We're not really going past my eye here because you don't want to bring the contour in too much. As you can see, we still have that definition going on, but it's not crazy. And then I'm going to pop a little bit on my forehead. And whatever's left over, I'm just going to put it on the side of my nose and around my jaw. Just like that. I am going to use that same brush to put on some blush. I'm going to pull out the Cover FX blush duo in the shade Warm Honey. This is what it looked like. I'm actually going to blend the two just to keep that dewiness going. And I'm just going to place it over the blush that I already laid down. So we're just going to buff it on there. Now I like to start in the middle just in case I got a little heavy handed with the blush. But if you feel more comfortable starting in the front and then bringing it back, you can do that as well. So I'm just gonna blend this out. And I'm gonna just swipe whatever's left on the top of my nose. I have 2 more powders. So the second powder I'm gonna use is the Airbrush Flawless Finish. My packaging is a little dirty from the spray. And this is shade number 2. As you can see, I hit pan. It is time to buy a new one. And I am just going to press this under my eyes, just like this. And we're just going to marry everything together that we just did. And I like to take that and blend it over the blush just so everything looks seamless and cohesive. So it don't look like you just place something there and it doesn't blend in with the rest of your face. And I'm also gonna blend this in right here. And the last but most important step is the face powder. So I'm actually going to mix these two. The Sephora Micro Smooth Powder in the shade Tan, and then the Dior powder in the shade 4N. I feel like this is a tad bit too dark, but when you put it next to me, it kind of looked like it's my shade, which is crazy. I don't know why. And then this one is definitely too light. So we just gonna blend these two in and get a amazing result. So I like this powder because it's blurring and it's also kind of matte, whereas this one is a skin-like finish. So it's like you put nothing on your skin. So it's bomb.com. So this is the face brush I'm going to use for powder. I am going to mix the two. It is the same as the foundation and the concealer. You can actually get it as a trio. So I'm just gonna mix the two. And we're going to place it everywhere we put that that foundation. Make sure to wrap it around your mouth and your cheeks so everything looks cohesive. And make sure to blend out your forehead. We don't want no lines of demarcation. And I also like to bring that powder down my neck sometime. Now, if you feel like anything has been washed out, this is the time to go back and do it before we set it with powder. So I'm just going to put a little bit more blush back on my face. So for me to make my makeup last long, I like to go in with 2 sprays, sometimes just 1, but today we're gonna do 2. So to melt those powders into the skin, I'm going to use the Max Fix Plus. And I also like to use a fan. So I'm going to spray the first spray. And I also like to use a fan so it doesn't dry down with those little dots on the skin. And so that my makeup, I know for a fact it's gonna last all night, I am going to use the Krylon Fixing Spray. This is what it looks like. This one smells like alcohol, so if you don't like alcohol, you can definitely use the Ben 9 Final Seal. That one smells more matte, but make sure you don't have any jewelry on or anything because it do leave hard specks. So I'm gonna spray this. And there you have it, ladies, a full flawless face. It looks like your skin. It don't look like you tried that hard because that's always the goal. You don't want to look like you tried too hard, but this is what it looked like. She is giving, okay? This is the final result. Let me know how you guys like this video, but I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.